I was selective honesty was my trait of choice, is what people were telling me. People were telling me that I had no more credibility whenever I spoke about things because my friendship with Aaron wouldn't let me get past knowing that he's a prima donna who dropped this information to steal the draft weekend. Mm-hmm. And I continue to say, no, that's just not the case. He has not told me, by the way. I do not want him to tell me, okay, because his only thing of talking was he was disappointed this was publicly. So it's not like I'm going to be like, hey, you're disappointed it's public. Why don't you give me some shit to say? Like that's just not how I would like our relationship to go, and I don't think we have the conversation. But we have continued, said, there's no way Aaron put this information out. The entire narrative, Packers fans, all media people were like, this is Aaron. Then the Jerry Krause text messages started. Now they're like, oh, so Aaron, which is alleged, by the way. Absolutely alleged. There is no clue if that's true. Bob McGinn, who I did not know existed, writer for The Athletic, obviously has a lot of juice because now Aaron Rodgers thinks he's Michael Jordan. Aaron Rodgers wants out of Green Bay. Aaron Rodgers wants to steal the draft from these young kids. Aaron Rodgers wants all of the attention. That is what people were saying about Aaron. And we continue to stand in the foxhole, okay, and say that's just not the way this whole thing. We do not know for sure, but just being a human that read the article could say this was not Aaron. Then numerous other people that aren't maybe have as knowledgeable with Aaron as we are after talking for, they're like, this doesn't feel like it's Aaron, right? It's like, obviously this is not Aaron. This morning, Adam Schefter, the man who wrote the article and teased the article on NFL Live on Thursday, April 29th, draft spectacular day. He was on OG Dan Patrick's show this morning. Bombs all over the place. This is like a 2-minute clip. Just go ahead and sit down and listen. And then immediately afterwards, if you were coming at me for slurping Raj, fucking take a hike, pal. Run this, please.
It was just about a week ago. A couple hours from now, where Adam Schefter came on SportsCenter and said basically that Aaron Rodgers wanted out of Green Bay. Walk me through that. Did you get a phone call or text?
You know, Dan, the funny part about it is that I've heard people say, oh, Aaron Rodgers wanted that out before the draft. I can assure you Aaron Rodgers did not want that out before the draft. I've had people say the Green Bay Packers planted that. It was a very pro-Packer story.
Yeah.
I can assure you the Green Bay Packers didn't plant that. When people guess at where stories come from, more often than not, they're usually wrong. And in this case, they're wrong. This was an accumulation all during the offseason of just listening to people talk and observing. And if we go back to the NFC Championship game that the Green Bay Packers lost at home, did we not hear Aaron Rodgers after that game talk about his level of unhappiness, if you will, uncertainty for the future? Just go back and listen to that press conference, and it sounds almost like he's saying goodbye to Green Bay. And so your antenna's up, and I'm just telling you, throughout the course of the offseason, there was rarely a week that went by where I didn't hear something about Aaron Rodgers. And on draft day, there's a report that morning from Paul Allen out in Minneapolis that the 49ers made a draft offer, which they didn't make an offer. They never made an offer. And other people are saying that the 49ers called. And I said, how long till it gets out that Aaron Rodgers wants out of Green Bay? Is it next week? Is it next when he doesn't show to the OTAs? Is it next month when he isn't? It's going to come out. What does it matter if it comes out now or next week or next month? And so
you chose to break the news on draft day.
That is absolutely accurate. Correct.
But it wasn't something that you got information about.
No.
Oh, okay. Okay.
No, there was nothing that morning that came in. All of a sudden said to me,
Dan.
Yeah, he wants out. You should report this. Like, it was going on all off season. You just keep hearing it. And there was more and more talk. And now there's starting to be Aaron Rodgers talking. I said, you know what? This isn't going to wait much longer. Let's just go. It just happened to be draft day.
Oh.
Because I wondered when you said it didn't come from Rodgers, didn't come from the Packers, and it's being characterized differently. I was wondering, okay, you're not going to tell me your source. You know, what was the motive behind that? Yeah.
Dan, there's not a source.
No, I know, but I know that now. But we're just finding this out right now.
Dan's basically like,
well, I said this. I said it on NFL Live. I said it on my podcast. I said it. You know, I mean,
okay.
I don't know. People want to believe whatever they want to believe.
Okay, so Dan was like, I mean, we didn't know that. I mean, shout out to Dan, by the way, kind of processing. Oh, okay. You could tell there was a couple things he said there where he was like, wait a minute, is this? Because I assume Dan Patrick had to cycle through, like, is this how breaking news works? Like, is this something they would do? Dan's probably like, yeah, probably. Schefter, one of ESPN's biggest days is the draft day, right? The draft is a massive day for ESPN, probably a lot of eyes. Maybe that. Now, Schefter said just so happened to be draft day, which maybe that is the case. But it didn't come from Aaron. He didn't mean to steal the draft. And maybe it didn't come from the Packers, by the way, even though in his article he leads off with league and team sources have told us. And maybe they just had to confirm whenever Schefter said, I'm going to write this article. So maybe the team said, yeah, there are current disputes going on. Who knows how they get around the legal mumbo jumbo with how they word everything. But all the people that were attacking Aaron Rodgers saying this is him trying to be a prima donna and all this shit, like, that was not the case at all. And maybe the Packers didn't do it. Now, why would the Packers want to do it? Because they would think, just like Schefter, this is going to get out inevitably. We would like to paint the narrative that we have tried everything here in the last couple months to get Aaron back, even though we maybe have pissed him off in the past, even though we're not going to admit that publicly, but we understand we have. So now we're trying to make it right or whatever. So maybe that's why they would want it out. But whatever the case, nobody was happy between Aaron and Green Bay, I assume, that this has become what it has become. And I assume Schefter knew what this was going to become as soon as he released it.
Yeah, for sure. And it's tough because, it seems like at this point, like, do you think even, like, with that coming out, like, can that... It seems like the court of public opinion is already kind of swayed, and like,
isn't it?
I mean, it kind of seems like that, and being here, you're obviously not as entrenched in it as it is like up there, but shit, he was on the Jumbotron at the Brewers game the other night, and they booed him. Like, that's wild. So you hope that people can be like, okay, so it's not like he was coming out and trying to, just force this, but I mean, it seems like it is kind of already.
Isn't it crazy
though
that the Packers and Aaron, right, have not really come out and addressed this entire thing at all. And that's because there potentially is real heavy conversations happening behind closed doors right now, where if they were to come out and speak, it might be a very different outcome 1 week from now than it is right now. So why would they want to potentially get out and say anything?
Rush to it.
Because, to be honest, I was starting to think to myself, like, hey, Aaron, like, could you put something out? Just some sort of something. But then now, and by the way, I always assume there's a reason, and I always assume there was some sort of action going on. But as I'm just eating these fucking rights and lefts from Packers fans telling me I'm a scumbag, basically, because I'm just blindly going to bat for a guy who's trying to ruin a franchise, especially after the free agent conversation.
Yeah.
And then, there was a full smear thing going on.
Oh, yeah.
And now Schefter's like, it's accumulation. It's been a long time coming, which is kind of what AJ has been saying this entire time, is like, this has been a long time coming. So, I feel like we're kind of new in this whole thing, but every once in a while when we talk, we could potentially be on the right side of things, especially things that are pretty important and kind of make sense whenever you look at it from a logical standpoint as opposed to, oh, this is going to be a massive standpoint.
Yeah.
And, that's just a different kind of mindset, I guess.
Well, and the biggest thing for me was that it was his decision to release it on Thursday on draft night. So that whole narrative of, Rodgers wants to steal the spotlight, like, that's complete bullshit.
Everything's complete bullshit that we've
All of it. Yep.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Now, did he text somebody that is friends with Bob McGinn and called Guter Kuntz Jerry Krause? We're going to have to find out.
It's possible.
But even that, like, people are taking that and saying, oh, Aaron Rodgers thinks he's Michael Jordan.
Yeah, it's and that has not been. Do we have screenshots of it? Do you have?
No.
And by the way, screenshots of text messages now with the way the internet is. I mean, like, how do we know that's true? And if somebody's in a group text with him that he feels comfortable enough to say that type of thing about his boss, potentially, let's assume that person would hopefully not just go,
that's not getting leaked
right to Bob McGinn.
Right.
Like, there's a lot of human factors in here that a lot of things that I think to myself, like, this doesn't add up. Like, this doesn't seem to make sense. And by the way, contract disputes and things that happen in business of the NFL, this shit happens, all right? Whenever the new regime came in here at the Indianapolis Colts, there was a lot of people having conversations behind closed doors that were potentially getting a little bit contentious in this entire thing too. So this is something that happens. I assume that Green Bay and Aaron had to know that at some point this might going to get out, because who knows? I mean, Schrags came out and said maybe an angry agent or maybe another team wanted to let this out. Whatever the case is, we just all sit and wait, I guess, to see how this all pans out and what bullshit has kind of shifted over into the ocean of post-draft cycle, because that feels like that's what we had to do all draft cycle, is figure out what's real, what isn't real. This one, we have to figure this whole thing out as well again.
Yeah, and then this morning, John Kuhn, former Packers fullback, who I think is fairly close with Rodgers, said that he has talked to him in like the last week and that he does see there being a situation where there could be a resolution between the two. And I think the headline said, that Rodgers wanted to be in Green Bay until he was 40. So who knows? Hopefully we'll get some clarity at some point here, but maybe we won't.
And to be honest, I did not want to talk about this today.
No.
It is exhausting.
I had gotten absolutely fed up with it. Like, actually, this morning, I'm like, all right, we're not doing it. We're not going to do it. Can't do it again. Until there's real shit, we're not going to talk about it. And then this comes out, it's like, well, this is real shit, but it's not real shit. So it's like, when can we get some real shit?